Hey guys, I'm gonna show you how the constructor tool works. I've made quite a bit of changes to it. As you can see, if you boot it up, it tells you the constructor tool will make a one-to-one clone of your system as is and compile it into an ISO file, which can be used to install on a new computer. This process is automated. You will need to input password and the tool does the rest. Should you wish to specify custom folders to backup, click on the backup list icon below. Your finished ISO will be put into home snapshot directory. So the instructions are pretty simple. If I click on the constructor tool now and input my password, it will automatically back up standard as is. However, if we go to the scale folder and we have a look here, you'll see what exactly gets backed up, in the initial backup before it constructs. It backs up your desktop, documents, downloads, music, pictures, public templates, videos. Now these are kept empty. No files get put inside of these, okay? This is because you don't want to put your personal documents for somebody else to maybe install the ISO. So it will create these directories, but it will keep them empty, okay? The files, the directories that will copy over is your cinnamon, config, gconfig, icons, linux, mint, local, pki, themes, and then of course these couple of files over here. If you actually go into each specific directory, you can see what exactly it copies over. So etc scale is where your user files from your home directory get backed up to. This will be used, this etc scale folder will be used to create a template for any new users configured on the system. That includes the user during installation. Okay, so it's very important that if you want to back up something like your Firefox profile or something else, that you put it inside this scale folder, etc scale. Okay, if you don't put it in here, it won't carry over with the installation. So I thought an easy way to do this is to make a backup list over here. Okay, so before you run constructor tool, if you want to just use it as standard, you can just run the constructor tool. If you want to edit the list, you can just click on backup list, input your password, okay, and you will see here it actually tells you all the details. And as you can see, here is the command to sync over a file. Okay, so it tells you here the list, blah 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 blah. It tells you the structure. Just read through this. It will actually tell you exactly how to do the process. I'm not going to read everything I wrote here now. It's going to take too long. So the basic command is to rsync a file or folder over to etc scale. Now you don't need to specify the home user directory. You don't need to do that. The main script does that already. You only really need to specify the file or folder inside your home directory. Okay, so as in here the folder is config and the file another folder ought to start to etc scale config. Okay, so it puts that folder inside that folder over there. Okay, so that's the basic structure. As you can see here, for example, the cinnamon folder over to etc scale. So in etc scale, it will clone that cinnamon folder. So that's the basic command structure over there. So if you want to include, let's say, Mozilla is already there, but if Mozilla wasn't specified and you want to put it in there, then you can just go to the bottom of this list, and over here you can just type rsync a.mozilla etc scale, just like that. Okay, and if it's inside the config folder, if it's a folder you want to put inside the config folder, then it's just .config. You understand? etc scale config. So you just type the path over here, okay, and you put the trailing slash at the end of that, and then before that there's a space, and you just put your actual file name or folder name as is over here. If it's got a dot in front of it, meaning if it's a hidden file or folder, you put a dot there as well. So you just need to specify the file or folder name, and over here you just put the path. etc skel, which is the default path, and any folder you want to put it inside, or if you just want to put it inside the actual directory over there. Okay, and that's pretty much how easy it is. Okay, so you can edit this list, you can go through the list, you can see what is copied over, what is removed, what is synced, um, and of course you can see exactly what's being copied. And if you want to remove something off the list, just simply delete the line, and if you want to add something to the list, add it at the bottom here. Okay, just keep the structure and all should be fine. Okay, so you can pretty much specify exactly what needs to be backed up. So why specify? Okay, well, like I said, you may run third-party apps. I created this script, basically customized for Makulu, and the default settings and look and feel and customizations that I've made to the system, so that gets carried over. But I mean, you might run some radio app that's got all your radio stations configured into a little config file, which might be in like .configs/radio tray, for example, or just in your home directory radio tray or .radio tray or something, and you want to copy that config file over to skel as well, so you can save your radio station's configuration, that kind of thing. Then you can just add it at the bottom here. And there's a main script that actually pulls this include file. So if you just specify it here and you save when you exit and you run constructor, it will actually pull your entries from that backup list and just include them in the process. Okay, so that's pretty much how easy it is. You can just specify your own files or folders or edit the default ones. And then when you're done, you can just run the constructor tool, and I'm going to keep the skel folder open here so you can actually see here in the background the files and folders being removed. So let's enter the password here, and now it just goes through the default. Okay, first we'll back up home user to etc skel. Once backup is completed, constructor will automatically start. We'll begin in 8 seconds. Okay, I just made that so the user can sort of read and catch up. Okay, it's checking if the user's root, it's verifying the user exists on the system, commence backup process, get rid of old files and folders. As you can see, all these have been now deleted. It says we will now copy over new files. It says checking initial configurations, where it actually checks if the desktop documents, downloads, music folders exists. There we go, making sure default. Now loading site script, that's that include file. Copying config directories over, as you can see there it is, copying locals over, copying the remainder over. As you can see, it's building the whole structure there. We delete some useless leftover files. Okay, that's like your .wine and things that really take a lot of space. Copying user specific directories. Okay, that's if you specify anything, it will actually copy those over. And so that's where it gets implemented on the script. Setting up permissions, okay, all finished. Starting up constructor in 15 seconds. I'm going to stop it there before we fire up the constructor, because once it fires up the constructor, it's all automatic. You don't need to do anything except sit back and watch it. It will take anywhere from 30 minutes to like an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours, depending on your hardware. If you have like a quad core or 8-core system and lots of RAM, it will take no time at all. But if you're limited on hardware, it could take a while. Anyway, so that's it. That's pretty much it. You run the constructor tool and your ISO gets put to home snapshot directory. If you have any issues and there's any problems, you can just go to var log, and there should be a constructor log over here, and you can check that to see any errors. If there's any errors, and you can just post that to us and we will guide you through any problems you may have. So constructor, this is the video guide you're actually watching now, and of course your default backup list. If you don't know anything about this, best to leave it alone. For advanced users, you can just edit that list and then run constructor. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoy.